severe depression, drugs, and a strange suicide attempt. How does Angelina Jolie live and fight with inner demons? Today, Angelina Jolie is considered a role model and almost a new Mother Teresa. Indeed, she is not just a successful actress, director, and screenwriter, but also a tireless fighter for women's rights. Until recently, UN Goodwill Ambassador for Refugees and mother of 6 children, 3 of whom are adopted. At the same time, for the shoulders of Jolie a lot of scandals. In her youth, the actress was known not so much for her outstanding roles in the movie, as for her egregious antics and apparent mental health problems, about which she herself willingly told journalists. As part of a series of articles about the difficult fates of celebrities, LENT.RU tried to understand the origins of mental ill health of the actress and how she managed to clean up the spoiled reputation and gain a foothold in the status of one of the most charming and sexy women in Hollywood. Unideal Angel. In the fall of 2022, all the world's media covered the news that Angelina Jolie, at the beginning of the relationship with married Brad Pitt, personally ordered journalists to take photos of their romantic walk. Moreover, the actress in advance informed the paparazzi not only the place and time, but also absolutely all the details of the secret date. Thus, she decided to push to divorce Pitt. Before this scandal denied their romance and clearly not going to leave the legal wife Jennifer Aniston. There was no reason not to trust this news, because the information about Jolie's devious prank came directly from Ian Winner, who at the time owned part of the shares of the tabloid Us Weekly, which published exclusive pictures. We got the photos that were proof of the debut of Brangelina. It was a worldwide sensation. The shooter was Angelina. The media mogul succinctly wrote about this order in his memoirs. The piquancy of the situation added to the fact that Jolie always claimed that she did not break up the marriage of Pitt and Aniston and would never meet with a man, knowing that with her he would cheat on his wife. The actress emphasized that for her such a situation is unacceptable, because she still remembers well how her mother suffered because of her husband's infidelity. If I had become intimate with a married man, the morning just could not look at myself in the mirror. Angelina Jolie. After such statements of the actress, it is quite understandable why Winner's revelations made so much noise. They simply became another proof that Angelina is not an angel, and the fame of insidious divorcee and vamp woman fixed for her in Hollywood for a reason. Prone to sociopathic rebellion, uncomplicated character, and unbridled temperament, Jolie has always differed. Blame in this difficult divorce parents, serious mental health problems, actress, and her extreme insecurity. The future star was born into a family of famous Hollywood actor Jon Voight and Canadian actress Marcolini Bertrand, but this marriage did not last long. Notwithstanding the endless cheating of her husband, Bertrand first took Angelina and her older brother and moved from Los Angeles to New York, and after some time filed for divorce. Separation of parents and the subsequent scandals regarding the amount of alimony an impressionable girl experienced very acutely. She saw her mother's suffering and her father's detachment, because of which she withdrew into herself, stopped studying normally and socializing with her peers, and instead of playing dolls she began to imagine herself as the owner of a funeral home. After teachers learned about the girl's obsession with the afterlife, she was sent to a school psychologist, who, however, did not help her much, just left a record in her file. Unstable, prone to sociopathy. In adolescence, Angelina's mental state deteriorated even more. She was 11 years old when her mother decided to move back to California. In parallel with training in a prestigious private school in Beverly Hills, the girl began to attend the famous film school Lee Strasberg, but because of the ridicule of classmates over her excessive thinness and puffy African lips, felt on stage constrained and extremely insecure. As a result, her acting ambitions for a couple of years came to naught. According to Jolie, in those years she was always uncomfortable in his skin. Her own face seemed too round, legs and arms too skinny, and shoulders wide. Angelina finally lost confidence in herself after her first attempts to become a model failed. Due to prolonged severe depression and low self-esteem, she developed anorexia and dysmorphophobia. She constantly felt unhappy and useless, began dressing only in black and collecting knives with which she cut herself on her arms and chest as punishment for her failures and in an attempt to dull her heartache. For some reason, when I cut myself and felt the pain, I felt alive and felt some relief. It had an almost therapeutic effect. Angelina Jolie. By the age of 14, Jolie in full began to show her mother her adulthood. In parallel with her studies at school, she starred in music videos and continued to go to castings as a model. Then the girl began to live in a civil marriage with her boyfriend. Moreover, this was insisted on by Marcolini Bertrand herself. After learning about the affair of her daughter, she preferred to give young lovers a room in their own home, instead of worrying that they have sex somewhere in the dark alleys of the park. Jolie later admitted that even falling in love and her first successes in her modeling career did not help her find peace of mind, so she continued to cut herself and later her partner. I started to have sex with my boyfriend, but I found the emotions not enough. Wanting to get even closer to him, I took a knife and cut him and he cut me. We were covered in each other's blood, my heart pounding furiously. Angelina once even ended up in a hospital bed. During another attempt to cut herself, she accidentally hit an artery. Fortunately, the doctors arrived in time and managed to save her. After discharge from the hospital, Jolie had to visit a psychiatrist for some time. Passion for self-destructs in addition to prolonged depression. Angelina's mental problems were also aggravated by difficult relations with her father, sometimes turning into outright hostility. Because of this, becoming a good earner, she got hooked on drugs and, by her admission, up to 20 years tried everything from grass to heroin and cocaine. During those years, Jolie often showed up to shows and public events high and at one point seriously contemplated suicide. She had depression, suicidal thoughts, and she said she hired a hitman to whom she was going to pay a kind of dues for her future murder. Star biographer Andrew Morton reported in the book Angelina Jolie, The Forbidden Biography from Complete Self-Destructs. Angelina stopped only work, surprisingly, but addictions and mental problems did not prevent the blossoming of her movie career. In the early 1990s, she again awoke interest in acting, because in parallel with participation in fashion shows, she began to star in low-budget films. In 1995, Jolie agreed to perform one of the main roles in the film about cyber warfare hackers. This project quickly became a cult, brought her first fame, the status of a rising star of Hollywood according to the New York Times Magazine, and acquaintance with the first official husband. British actor Johnny Lee Miller was to play Jolie's lover, and their movie romance continued in real life. A year later, the couple legalized their relationship. At the wedding ceremony, lovers came in black leather pants and white t-shirts, on which their own blood wrote each other's names. It was Johnny who helped Angelina to quit drugs and see the bright side of life. I survived when I was young, and that's a lot of luck. A lot of artists haven't endured what I've endured. There were many reasons why I shouldn't be here now. I love risky ventures too much, walking the line, testing fate, and I often go too far. Angelina Jolie, however, blood oaths and Jolie's newfound sobriety didn't help the couple keep the relationship going for long. When the passion between the lovers has subsided a little, they realized that they are complete opposites of each other and peacefully parted a year after the marriage. After the premiere of Hackers established both Jolie's personal life and her career. After a series of minor roles in 1997, she played the wife of the sick governor of Alabama in the miniseries George Wallace, for which she was awarded the Golden Globe. Then the actress took part in the drama Ja, dedicated to the biography of the supermodel of the 1980s Ja Marie Caragna. This movie was a breakthrough for Angelina. It was after its release about her began to talk about it as one of the most sought-after and diverse young actresses. From love to hate in her relationship with Pitt, Jolie really became calmer and happier. Brad dreamed of a large family and children and fully shared the values of the actress. He adopted Maddox, actively involved in charitable activities, and gladly accompanied his chosen one in humanitarian missions. On one of these trips, the couple decided to adopt an Ethiopian girl, Zahara, and soon it became clear that Angelina was pregnant. In 2006, Pitt and Jolie had a daughter, Shiloh, the first pictures of which they sold to journalists. $10 million. The first photos of Shiloh, Jolie Pitt's newborn. All the money actors transferred to charity. In 2007, the actors adopted another boy, Paxton, and soon the twins were born, Knox Leon and Vivian Marcolini. Each time a new child in the family. The star couple sold the press the right to an exclusive shoot and donated the proceeds to charity. In those years, Jolie assured, "I'm still a bad girl. I was and I will be. It's a part of me. It's just that now I have Brad and our adventures. I love him very much. He's the father of my kids and one of my closest friends at the same time. When I look at him, I see not only my man, but also my children. I realize that I am not the only woman in the world, but I trust him and know that he values our family very much." For 12 years of life together, Angelina divorced countless times. Reasons called different: the difficult temperament of the actress, her jealousy of Pitt's ex-wife Jennifer Aniston, with whom he remained in a friendly relationship, until Jolie did not give him an ultimatum, either the first or she. However, it was with Brad's support that Angelina was able to cope with depression and obsessive thanatophobia, which arose after the untimely death of her mother from cancer. In 2013, the actress decided to undergo surgery to remove her breast, uterus and ovaries because of the high risk of cancer of these organs, and again Pitt tried to be by her side all the time. At the same time, to legitimize the relationship, the couple was in no hurry. Brad and Angelina married only in 2012 on the initiative of the children, but a beautiful ceremony could not strengthen their union. Categorical unwillingness of the actor to adopt more children, rumors about his affair with Marion Cotillard, and newly aggravated mental problems Jolie 4 years later led to a high-profile breakup. Their beautiful love story turned into a divorce epic. It was truly a deep connection, a marriage of great love, and I can't say that our happiness was ruined by any one reason. There were many, but right now, our focus is on the health and peace of mind of our family. It is much more important for me at the moment to deal with children. First, the official reason for the breakup of the relationship, spouses, called the notorious irreconcilable contradictions. Then Jolie said Pitt's alcoholism and his allegedly cruel treatment of children. What really happened remains a mystery until now, but it is quite clear that the divorce caused Angelina a huge trauma, and she went to war on her ex-husband to make him suffer as much as she did. Financial and property issues the former spouses settled fairly quickly. The stumbling block was child custody. Jolie insisted on sole custody. Pitt, of course, opposed and filed counterclaims. As a result, the legal battle stretched over several years, during which Brad and Angelina had to visit the court-appointed psychologist, not once, to meet in closed sessions and listen to the testimony of witnesses, doctors, and numerous experts. The actress was ready for anything, only to not allow any indulgences for her ex-husband, including to call on the witness chair of their children, who were so eager to protect from pain and trauma. The lengthy legal battle of Hollywood's once most beautiful celebrity couple didn't end until 2021. The police and FBI completely cleared Pitt of domestic violence charges, and the court recognized his right to co-parent their children. Maddox, who had reached adulthood by then, was not covered by that ruling. "I've been alone for a very long time." Such a verdict Jolie found doubtful and said that she intends to continue to sue. She is clearly not used to losing, but for the past 2 years since the last meeting has not taken any active steps. Perhaps the actress thought it was time to leave this story in the past and start moving forward. Or maybe she just focused on more important tasks. At the end of 2022, Angelina resigned her position as UN Goodwill Ambassador. In the 20 years since her appointment, she has worked in an Afghan refugee camp in Pakistan, founded schools for girls in Kenya, and opened a wildlife conservation foundation in the Kalahari Desert. After retirement to stop doing charity, actress does not intend to stop. It is worth noting that after the divorce, the paparazzi have never been able to catch Jolie in the company of a man in a clearly romantic setting. Yes, and the celebrity herself confirmed that during this time she had no novels and she does not particularly seek them. And for some reason this fact does not surprise anyone. The absence of a personal life. The actress explains the excessive demandingness to representatives of the opposite sex. "I've been alone for a long time. It seems that I have formed too long a list with different no's that prevent me from making such a deal. I have become fastidious in the choice of suitors." In early June, Jolie turned 48 years old. Now she devotes a lot of time to taking care of children, again actively acting in movies, thinking of returning to the director's chair, and has already announced in social networks about the launch of her fashion house Atelier Jolie. And also, just approaching her half-century anniversary, she finally felt comfortable being herself. "It took me a long time to feel that I could be useful to someone, because for a long time I felt like I was crazy, insane, and that I had to be kept away from them. Crazy and that I should be kept away from. If you had asked me when I was a teenager if I could be someone's mom, be useful to the UN, or write a book, I would have said categorically no." The actress has never hidden her psychological traumas and complex character, but still managed to survive the dark times and endured, and now intends to return to her real self. Perhaps, and her personal life will eventually get better. Carefully following the life of the stars, paparazzi managed to shoot Jolie in the company of 44-year-old David Meyer de Rothschild and immediately made certain conclusions, and how true they are, time will show.